Hello and welcome to That's Football. If the Premier League or the Champions League was given away on Twitter polls, then Arsenal would have won the Champions League and the Premier League for the last 20 years. Unfortunately, it's not. Fan opinion doesn't drive what happens on the pitch. And Arsenal certainly are a club that, whether it's through Arsenal Fan TV or Twitter or any other social media, you'll be very aware of Arsenal fans. Do they bring it on themselves? Whether they do or they not, they love their club. Do we not all love our own club? And I'll tell you what, Arsenal Football Club has got a ridiculously bad season and summer of 2018 ahead. And that's what we'll be talking about this morning. Unbelievable, really. When Wenger was given that contract back in April, there was a massive part of me and any other person who doesn't support Arsenal laughing inside, because a threat that, let's be honest, Arsenal should be a threat. They should be there at the top table battling for the Premier League in relation to their stadium, their fan support, their status, their income. Arsenal should be a club that's challenging for the title, and they're becoming further and further away from that. They are retracting on the pitch, and that is a fact. a.f.c. Sanchez wanted to leave, their best player. But very, very interesting if I read you this. Something I've seen on Twitter over the last couple of days that really stunned me. I was aware of some of these things, and I'm sure most Arsenal fans are. But, yes, we're a bit Arsenal-centric today. But we all know who Arsenal are. We all like to have the banter with Arsenal fans. And how much longer will Arsenal be able to have any banter with the old top five, or the current top five sides? Liverpool, United, City, Chelsea, Spurs. I think Arsenal's rivals could very much soon be your Evertons, even your Newcastles. Who would have thought that? And why has it happened? And why is it going to happen? Well, Alexis Sanchez, for one, is going. Whether Arsenal fans are happy that they're keeping a player of that quality, which they probably are, the reality is he's got no time left on his contract. In January, he can talk to anybody he likes. He's gone. City were rumoured to be wanting to pay £60 million for him. Whether you wanted to keep him or not, it's a very expensive price to pay. £60 million is effectively what you're losing by keeping an unsettled player for a season. And I guarantee Sanchez will spend a lot of that season on the treatment table protecting himself from a serious injury. Because if he gets injured, his contract opportunity of a move is gone. But on top of that, Sanchez will leave. Ozil will leave. Mesut Ozil only has a year left on his contract. Nobody was even interested in him over the summer. He's going. He's not going to stay at Arsenal. He's not signed the new contract. And again, like Sanchez, in January, he can go. So next summer, they're going to have to replace Alexis Sanchez. Mesut Ozil. Oxlade-Chamberlain's already gone, not been replaced. On top of that, Santi Cazorla, he will leave. No fee coming in. Needs replacing. Consistent player for Arsenal. People can say, oh, he's getting on a bit now, whatever. He has been a consistent performer for Arsenal over the last few years. He is going to leave next summer for nothing. The third player for nothing going that will need replacing. Mustafi wants to leave. Their centre-back, he wants to leave. Aaron Ramsey only has 1 year left on his contract. Has publicly said it's a shambles the way Arsenal are being run. Hector Bellerin, is he going to want to stay? I know he signed a new contract, but is he going to want to stay? Petr Cech, 36 years of age. How many more years has he got left in him? Mertesacker, as good as, I don't think he's that good, or some Arsenal fans do. He's going to retire at the end of the season. Who else? Who else was on this list? Jack Wilshere, leaving the club. 1 year left on his contract, going for nothing. And Wenger, probably the one person they want to go, not probably going to leave. So, and even if he does, what sort of and the big thing is, all these players go for nothing. Ozil, Sanchez, the rest. And they go for nothing. So they will need replacing. Quality players who will need replacing by Arsenal, who've got an ownership structure, who don't want to spend money. I'll tell you what, unless Arsenal have got a load of young players coming through, which Wenger, that river dried up years ago. There isn't any young players that he's promoting now. Was it always a myth that Wenger promoted youth, or was it just a clutch of young French players he was aware of that he brought through? Because unless they've got a real, pool of young talent coming through, and even then, can you rely on that? Arsenal are going to have to spend massive amounts just to have the squad that they've got now. This is serious. This is serious. If you're not an Arsenal fan, you're probably laughing. If you are an Arsenal fan, you're probably crying. Personally, I don't know where I sit on it. Arsenal, yeah, I like to laugh at Arsenal. You like to laugh at all your rivals, but a scenario where Arsenal are mid-table and nowhere near the top. I mean, you know, I enjoy the rivalries as a United fan. People like Leeds I'd like to see them back in the Premier League. Don't like them, but that rivalry of playing them is good. So, very, very scary what Arsenal have to face next summer. And the writing's on the wall. And there's nothing they can do about it. The reality is, unless they were to produce even if they win the Premier League and the Champions League, well, they're not in that. Sorry, made a mistake there. Even if they win the Europa League and the Premier League, which they're not going to do, it doesn't solve the fact that those players are going to walk for nothing, because financially it's the obvious thing to do. You're going to have to spend about £200 million just to replace what you've got at the moment without any improvements that you'd like to make now. The writing's on the wall for Arsenal, and it's not very nice writing. In fact, it's obscene. What does that mean for old Robbie and Arsenal Fan TV? I think it probably not very happy about it. Contrary to belief, these are Arsenal fans. They're very passionate. I know they divide opinion. Some people don't like that sort of thing, and they're Arsenal fans. But for an outlet like that, I can see them only getting bigger and bigger. Arsenal results and future looks bleak. And with that bleakness becomes frustration, understandable frustration. And with that frustration becomes, it used to be Netflix and chill, it's now Arsenal Fan TV and chill. Maybe this season they might be okay, but I think next summer it'll be back again. I can only see a bad future for Arsenal. It's a mess. It's a mess. Unless somebody's going to buy that club and pump money into it, like City and Chelsea have had, and that can change very quickly. But I think it's becoming to that point now where Arsenal need an investor who's going to spend a lot of money, because all they are now is a cash cow for their owners. But you can't just blame the owners for that situation where Sanchez is going for free, Ozil's going for free, Ramsey's contract's nearly gone, Oxlade-Chamberlain's gone. I mean, what's the situation with Walcott? Is his contract? I mean, there's lots and lots of questions, but that's got to come down to the manager and his team as well. Allowing players to run down contracts like that, it's poor. And the stubbornness not to let Sanchez go, £60 million, you could have used that. You could have got a replacement for him. Next year, you won't have Sanchez and you won't have £60 million. Give us your thoughts. Do you think Arsenal can recover? Do you think, where will Arsenal be next year? Mid-table looks realistic. I mean, they're not far off the bottom now. I think they'll be okay this year. But interesting times ahead for Arsenal. And where do you really stand on it? Where do you really stand on it? Because Arsenal fan, Chelsea fan, Liverpool fan, United fan, City fan, Everton's fan, whatever fan you are, Arsenal are a staple of the Premier League, and they are, in the Premier League era, quite a historic club. Are they about to sink? Look what happened to Leeds. It could happen. Don't ever think it won't. You're never too big to go down. Not this year, but next summer is going to be massive. Thanks for watching. Give us your comments below. I hope you've seen the Premier League preview show. If not, click the eye in the top right hand corner. Get commenting. Give us your thoughts. Any other topics you want us to discuss, get commenting as well. Speak to you all very soon.